hacienda everything. You're already forcing Boston to be uncomfortable in map 1.
It's legitimately been a red carpet of losses across the hard point. Will red card be where the carpet gets rolled up and Boston find their first hard point win? Let me hear you, Toronto. We've got ourselves the lower finals. Vancouver Surge, Boston Breach. Let's get it on.
Winner gets a dance versus the Green Wall tomorrow. Vancouver are riding the high of everything that's been testing them today. Starting off on the preferred side, early battles over 4 heads. Snoopy and Awakening already getting activated early. It's a battle for the mid-map control, and Boston currently have it.
Yeah, Snoopy getting hot early is massive. We've seen him in the past just get lost and go completely unguarded on this map. So him finding a hot hand could be crucial towards Boston. But off the second lines, Vancouver, beautiful recovery. Back into the hard point, only allow Boston 2 seconds, and they're still controlling head side for now.
And Purge whips out the next AR. He knows that on a map like Red Card, there's not going to be a lot of angles with that SMG, so just want to dominate the map control alongside my AR duo. But Surge have dominated all of the maps so far. They're soaking up a majority of this time. Now they're getting aggressive over towards bus side to flip them behind them. This is a perfect start here for Surge.
Yeah, and that's, I think, the biggest key here for Vancouver. Coming off that emotionally charged series, make sure you're playing good structured Call of Duty to get things going. You don't want to just run off of highs that you may have had from the momentum that you found winning that round 11. You want to try to play good structured fundamental Call of Duty, and so far so good. Heading over to P2, Neptune getting the job done early to clear up some space, but Vancouver are spawning in the unfavorable position. Maybe a chance here for Boston to get in.
Yeah, they just have to get close. They have to try to contest this HP. Everyone that is contesting it is instantly getting taken down. And Vancouver, even with the back foot on their side, they're still dominating this P2 setup. Abuza now finds 2. That's already 3 dead. The information is gained. Everyone turns around and the score continues to grow.
Nice moment here, though, for Boston off their respawn, re-clearing the middle of the map. One more chance with 15 seconds to fight, try to get back into the hard point. But look at the spawns, already moving around once again. Vancouver will forfeit this back 12, get on their hightail over to P3, and lock down the middle of the map as Boston now have to once again take the long route to rotate.
Yeah, now if you are Breach, if you can find a kill at this moment, you can potentially spawn them behind them, but now you need another break here on Red Card. P3 is going to be very difficult, especially with Nasty in this sort of position. Going to have a couple freebies lined up. Finds the first, sets up the teammates for the final 2. And now look what it does to the spawns. Boston again on the back foot.
Absolutely perfect for Vancouver. Boston going to spawn over towards the parking garage, trying to get some sort of a route away from just playing up Eskies. Abuza's good for the opener. Nasty follows up to stop the long route. And once again, Boston have to essentially just reform, respawn, and try again. And they're just not allowing any sort of action to get towards the hard point at all. Vancouver just continue to find staggered kill after staggered kill. Nasty on 4 in a row.
Oh, this is clinical. Boston have not yet spawned in on this map, number 1. Vancouver are running them over. You have them trapped towards the backside of P3 again. You're basically gifting the rotation to P4 to your squad. Now 04 knows they don't want to die in this scenario and potentially spawn out, but an 80-point lead going into P4 will take it.
Absolutely you will. And take a look at the scoreboard on the Boston side. Both the ARs that you pointed to not doing all that well. A combined 7 and 19 between the 2 of them. Meanwhile, Abuza and Nasty are a combined 22 and 11. It is stark differences early on. Boston, though, will get an opportunity to make a play over towards stage for the new hard point. Abuza top window, some damage but no kills, and Boston will break on in.
Yeah, the break is good. The spawn's already flipped, so now Boston have an opportunity to potentially get themselves back into the game, but Surge have to be exhausted. Let's step aside and go to listen and how the energy is sounding with Surge.
Go steps, I'll come. He's weak. Go. One shot, go. One shot, go.
Insert top stage. I'm leaving this shit, okay? We're missing one, maybe.
It's Cammy.
Keep me under. I'm gonna check out, okay?
Well, base. The big kill, Mark.
Oh, take it on me. It's short, He's
still on Jonah.
He's on P5.
He's putting BB fouls.
Nice. BSD. Hold you, BSD.
I don't see flowers.
Yo, you middle me.
Bro, one shot. He's paper.
It's Cammy.
Go block.
He's fall on too.
I'm re-rapping B-search. I'm
Middle me.
One camera. He's on me. He's shooting us. One. I don't know where he went.
He's in paper. He shot his gun.
And one was.
Yo, one show me.
That's gonna be. Nice. Under ticket.
I didn't take it
Camera, no way.
Yeah, I'm going mid.
Get my ticket.
You have to get blocked. That's one mid, that's one mid. I'm up
Yo, one shot, Cammy, bro. Lonsky. He's
One time, and too long.
Let's get this over.
Nah, fuck that, Trav, rotate. Just get killed. H1 purge. I'm going top lights, challenge, run him. On the globe, hit 3 times, man. Nice, good shit. Play the kills, play the kills.
One more ticket. Don't lose ticket.
Take it now. It's gonna be 2 there, no, Purge is gonna be there. Just shoot him off time from globe.
I can't.
I'll do it. You just play it. I'll kill him, One shot top left, get on time. He's one shot top left.
I'm trying to get you right. Dead. One more time. Weak. That's it. Look now. Yo, you see, sure.
P2.
Trying to bullet, wait, come on.
Yo, listen, I'm on play for sponsor.
Watch how they do it. One shot top light, okay? Okay, take your time in this break. Play for the rotation. That's one behind the mice. That's one maybe push back at you then. Yo, there's that time. There's that time dead. That's one.
All right, Vancouver Surge starting to get things going, feeling calm, feeling collected. Snoopy on the other side, though, Jay, starting to heat up. They just need Wake to show up.
Yeah, he's starting to get activated, man. Already on 4, making 5 in a row. The young frog is starting to take over Boston. They are starting to rally their way back into this game. Let's go to a listening with the squad in green.
Camera on stage. She's going out her. One shot through her. Let's see,
Okay, nice. Flip mid, boys. No, he's our goal, okay? Our goal to boost us.
One shot mid.
These guys,
Outer in time. Chance gun. Top stage.
top stage then. With the front time, guys. Yo, deep front of booster, one shot, front time, and then close tower.
So this is jump that time. It's close. Our side.
Yeah, I'm going left, guys. Okay, they're gonna.
I'm
gonna play through caution.
We take it.
I don't see him go. Just go quick. Yeah.
All them mid-sex.
One here. H1 dead.
Yeah, spawn back, I guess one outer.
I'm playing S2, guys.
I'll slide it for you.
I don't see him. I'm one shot, guys. He said S2 dead. Close up,
slow down. I'm not trying to time.
Keep us always forward. Keep playing S2. Go back and forth.
I'll come with you.
One's deep in the thing. Yo, close to me. Close caution, nasty. One shot, close caution.
Yeah, both there, guys. Let's hit it again.
I'm gonna challenge, absolute, legit bullet. Nice. Nice, good fucking shit.
Maybe one more.
You guys play the play.
Give it a
I'll do one shot, take it, bro. First deep ticket, bro.
H1, I'm on one shot.
H1 nasty tagged, okay? He's tagged H1.
Yeah, guys, fine.
Your time. We're good.
Nasty was H1.
One break. We good.
Back to nasty, okay? I'm done, just back time, bro.
Yeah, go low left cam. I'll go upstairs.
Yo, H1 dead, I'm one shot.
I'm just running out of cam.
Yeah, go for it, bro.
H1, one shot me before.
H4,
Nice. Nice, yo, low, mind you, Andy. Nice.
Time left. Our time in the corner. He's still like mid-side time now.
I'm one shot, boys. I'm one shot. I'm absolutely the boys. Give me a sec.
I still got it. Shoot.
Yo,
Yo, we got the left. There's two on time.
Well, it's a Herculean effort from Snoopy and Cammy, but not all 4 members should breach, evenly participating. Purge able to open up the hard point here. You heard it in the comms, Jay. They needed one good break, but now you got to find one good rotation and one good hold on top of that.
Yeah, this is a good 20 seconds, though, to start it off with. All the kill feed is currently lit up in white. Boston are starting to get activated with those weapons. Awakening, we need you to wake up right here, right now.
Yeah.
Still a 50, almost 40-point difference. You already have players off the rotation, and Cameron McGilligan, he's starting to turn up.
That's what you need, but you need to get some life injected into this man right here. Come on, Wake. You got to go with something, my man. Over the top of P5. Able to see Neptune down low. That will work. That clears out Stans. Is he going to get a second? No. Boozer right there for the trade. Cammy trying to follow up. Tagged at range. Vancouver now with the numbers as Purge tries to work his way forward. Snoopy trying to find a way on a pinch, but not quite able to get there. And it will be Vancouver holding on towards BS&D. Now trying to make a play into the hard point.
Yeah, Vancouver are just waiting for a couple kills to be chained together before they decide to hop into the HB. And there it is. Nasty finds 3. You know, everyone is spawning over towards Eskies. We can start to soak up this time and get closer and closer to calling game. Boston, one more break attempt. You're gonna have Snoopy, who's been their shining light so far in this game. Lines up a double. You're trying to play keep away, but eventually we gotta get in time.
Yeah, Cammy and Awakening, last two remaining over the top of this old 14 seconds. Booza shuts down Purge. Cammy looking for some sort of a contest over towards Ticket, but not gonna happen. Vancouver with the leader's advantage, mostly gonna reinforce over towards Hedges, looking to play for P1.
It's crazy because if you were watching this map from the beginning, you're thinking Vancouver have been dominating from start to finish, but even with Boston getting heavily outslayed, you're still only down by 30. Initial gunfight's already going the way of Vancouver. That's all four dead. Spawns are in control. Surge know exactly where they're coming from. They can still win it here at P1.
Yeah, kind of a last chance effort right here for Boston. First 1v1, doesn't go the way of Purge. Cammy inside his Ticket, trying to find the players inside the hardpoint. That gets shut down, but in that moment, Awakening and Snoopy able to get themselves involved. That neutralizes the time and gives Boston a chance to reinforce in the middle of the map. Big gunfights now over towards Hedges.
Yeah, they're just keeping it as scrappy as they possibly can, but we need to have a takeover moment. This final 25 at the P1 can be it. That's already 3 dead in the feed. Surge trying to find their way back over towards this time and not give it up. And Boston is just slowly but surely continuously chipping away.
You can't lose the game here. You have a chance with P2 opening behind you with these waves of kills to make this doable. How about the effort from Snoopy? 35 and 29. Keeping Boston alive. 229, 188. Heading over to P2. Boston there first, and the ARs for Boston provide the opening eliminations they need.
The comeback kids are starting to show some life. Now only down by 30 with 2 gunfights already won by Surge. They have hedge control. Someone needs to pop a double, and you don't start it off on the right foot. Awakening, your time to shine. No, it is not. That's 3 dead. Surge find the break.
You only have 1 member in right now. If you're Vancouver, it's nasty. The rest of the reinforcements making their way over towards stage side. Purge for the opener. Snoopy following up. That clears out the hard point. 202 to 237. 4 down. Boston can get this close to 230. Vancouver, decision time. Do you go? Do you rotate?
That might be a tough call right there for Boston, because when you get 4 dead, you want to be aggressive over towards stage, but they rally on for the second wave of kills, and that's another 4 dead. Spawns now flip. Boston have an opportunity to steal this map 1.
Talk about the composure for Boston. They're going to get to new first. 237, 226. Minimal scrap time for Vancouver on the old time. Purge cutting off 1 on rotation. Split spawn situation as well. Can Awakening find anything off the off spawn? Tagged by Neptune. Doesn't win the first 1v1. 232, 240. The kills go the way of Vancouver. Snoopy still on the back. He's able to find. Oh my God, Snoopy! Now it's just down to can you get back into the hard point in time. Purge, Awakening, Cammy, all making the way up the staircase. Boston's gonna hold for now.
They're trying, but there's still so many players from Surge around this staircase. Nasty wins the one-on-one. Boston spawn towards the front, and you gotta go.
It's a mix fest. You just gotta win your 1. So 4 backside bust for 1. Not gonna need the second. Vancouver, stay alive in the hard point. Stay alive in the map and take the opener.
It looked like Vancouver were gonna run away with that pretty early into that map number 1. But even though Boston falls short by 15 seconds, just all the momentum they were able to get at the end of that hard point shows me that they still have life in this series. If they just rolled over and died, got beat up like the same way they did versus Optic, then who the hell knows what was gonna happen. But it's still Surge in those final moments, man. Clutching up, winning multiple one-on-one gunfights to close out that game, minimizing what Snoopy was able to do. But if Snoopy could just get at least 1 player on his squad to go positive, that's probably Boston map 1.
And you have to take a look at this. I know we're sitting here at the KD leaderboard and talking about Awakening, 22 and 38, 22 assists, 4,400 damage. So he's a bullet away from not just being double negative, he's a bullet away from being positive, like double positive probably. So again, that effort just comes down to not finding that final shot a couple of different times. I think the other notice is you look up to the top of the objective kills for Vancouver, nearly everyone finding good participation inside the hard point, both by kills and by time. That's that teamwork that we look for out of Surge, and that's what gets them to survive in those final moments.
Yeah, teamwork always makes the dream work. I know that Rambo Ray is definitely preaching that in their ears during these breaks. The fact that they had such a dominant start doesn't allow Boston to fully complete the comeback. Snoopy was on point. The ARs were struggling. Purge had his moments. But when you're just allowing 0-4 to whip out that 3rd AR at times, dominate the map control alongside Nasty and Abuza. This is a map that they were able to take versus LAT, who were undefeated on this.
Correct.
So Vancouver felt super confident about red card map number 1, and that's why.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is, again, though, one of those situations you look at for Boston, a team that hasn't won a hard point yet. You're down tremendously.
Yeah.
For you to keep the composure up, though, and to make that comeback, I would say arguably bigger than expected, that is an opportunity to now take that momentum into the search and destroy where you've done well in the 2, 3, 5. It gives you hope, I think, looking towards map 4 as well down the road if you're thinking about elongating this series. Other side for Surge, you know, it's not bad news. Obviously, you win the match, but more importantly, if they lose in that comeback effort, you start to worry about the mental a little bit. Coming off of another emotionally charged series in their most recent matchup, they can't close out a map. That could have changed things dramatically. So I think both teams should be feeling pretty positive about how this first map went.
Oh yeah, you're happy as hell that you took map number 1 if you're Surge, because Hardpoint has been your bread and butter the entire season so far. On the opposite side for Boston, you're happy you're able to contest it, but so far at this event, it's been search and destroy and control for the breach.
Yeah.
You have to get it done through the 2, 3, 5 potentially. The way that you were able to battle shows that you got some life. But like I said, Vancouver made them uncomfortable choosing a map like red card for that map number 1. And now it only continues to be uncomfortable going into this map 2.
Yeah, talk to me a little bit here, because neither of these two teams have played this map against each other.
Yeah.
I think we do know certain tendencies that these teams tend to have. But talk to me more about how Boston like to play this map, because I think when we've casted this match through qualifiers, we really noted on like, wow, these guys are just forcing gunfights in A every single time, no matter what side of the bomb they spawn on. Are you looking for Purge, Snoopy to continue that momentum up, or what are you looking for in terms of adjustments possibly for Boston?
Well, I definitely want to see proper adjustments, because on a map like Rewind, you can't consistently every single round just run it down and expect the results to always go your way, because timings don't always go your way. But just around their defensive setup, you'd like to send Purge over towards Burger's side, over through mid-street. He's the island player. Tries to call out information, set up his teammates who like to get aggressive through mid-glass. But he's like the most important guy, because he takes so many risks just putting himself in that position. Sometimes he finds himself trying to commit onto a one-on-one gunfight, and if you don't get it, it comes back to bite your team. So Purge has to be on point with his decision-making this game.
Other side of things, looking at Vancouver, I would say that kind of the tendency here is they rely a lot on Abuza playing a bit of an island at long range. I would say maps like Rewind, maps like Dealership, when they were re-added into the pool, Abuza's like, I got a long pixel pick angle and I'm going to rip someone off of a heady. That seems to be kind of the tendency for Vancouver. Are you looking to see if they're going to modify their tempo to try to match Boston, or are they going to try to play them more at arm's reach?
I expect them to do the same thing on the defensive side, just lock it down, play for retakes, but on their offenses is truly where they make me worry. Because for a team who has so many fast-paced players, especially with SMGs in hand, they like to take their sweet time on their offensive approaches to working towards the A side, but we're not taking our sweet time here. You take all of mid-map away, and now Boston are forced to back up.
Yeah, a little push through the hole over towards Laundry has Boston out of blue, and looking to see if Purge can find something over towards the outside of the map. Again, keep your eye on number 2 in blue. Abuza once again had that opening gunfight from trash can to trash can, and now finds himself at Burger, trusting that Vancouver can lock down A.
And the call now is, okay, they show presence over towards DVD up at Elephant, so let's just rally over through B Street. They're currently uncontested. The only one watching across is going to be Nasty, so he gains all that info, but bomb should get planted.
Yeah, Awakening just watching inside the big rig. Snoopy off the plant. Neptune trying to guard him. Semtex out, does not stick, and Neptune's trapped. Good follow from Awakening as he finds 2. Okay, how about that? Now Abuza, 1v2 situation. Vancouver against Toronto. We're clutch. So many rounds. Can Abuza provide? No. Gets crossed up, turned around, and Boston take the opener.
Beautiful decision making right there early on for Boston Breach. You realize, okay, 0-4 pushed out blue. We have spotted no one over towards Burger's side, but just that one player who showed his face. Gives us sort of a read on what the potential setup is going to look like. You know that you have the advantage through B Street. When you get to that position, there's no one contesting for the bomb plant. Successful on the post plant is Boston.
Got a little mixy there for a moment. That opening push through from 0-4 looked like Boston may get a little jittery, but good recovery, good adjustments, and Awakening in particular, great first round. Capitalizing on that damage tally that we talked about in the hard point. Now finishing off the elimination. Nades over the top for Boston. We're going to go quickly into Jans. 0-4, not expecting it. Still had the knife out. Neptune not close enough to secure a trade. Good stun from Cammy. Follows up, and Boston are running it down.
Playing with the utmost confidence in search and destroy. That's what led to them to be in this position. Now in a 4v2. Most likely have the info that the bomb is down. No one is budging on their setup.
Yeah, why would you? Then for Nasty and Abuza, how do you even begin? We'll see how things unfold.
1v3 for Abuza. Still looking for some timing here, but it's instantly going to get taken down. Boston with 2 quick rounds to start off this rewind search and destroy. This is one that when it got back into the pool, they wanted to add it to their map pool, and finally seeing some good results so far.
Convincing start. More importantly, not just the 2 rounds, but the fact that you have dominated in the first blood. You've dominated in being able to play the post plant, and more particularly, you've not allowed Vancouver to get anything going on their opening attempt. So, again, early patterns favoring that of Boston. And now do you try to hit back with a little bit of aggression on your offense here? They tried to last round. It was 0-4 that stopped that in its tracks. Not going to be the case here, as you can see where he's at on the map. Quick play already into Burger, but similarly so. Boston are just running it down through glass, and whoa. Nearly catch Vancouver's defense off guard, but Nasty and Neptune provide the kills they need, and now it's just down to the rest of the surge to reset.
Still got a chance if Awakening could win a one-on-one, but it's going to get overwhelmed. Now Cammy in a 1v3 almost makes it a 1v2, but now all of Vancouver have rallied together.
Bound down in a pretty trepidatious spot. And yep, it's just a Bermuda Triangle of Vancouver Search members in the backside of the shots out. Cammy reveals his position. Vancouver just put themselves in crossfire setups. Should not be a mistake here, but Cammy's got both weapons and now the bomb to play with. Almost gets isolation onto one, but can't quite get the SMG up, and Vancouver on the board.
Yeah, I respect the confidence from Boston, potentially try to catch them with something completely off guard. Just don't try to hit through gens, push right through glass to go through B. But that time, Vancouver had a little bit different of a setup on their defense. Neptune camping the site. Teammate alongside him in Nasty sitting in courtyard. And they both win their one-on-ones. To guarantee that round there for Surge to get on the board.
Yeah, nearly caught off, but the one pump behind the bomb works. Also, like you mentioned, had the crossfire set up.
That was just a crazy play call though out of Boston.
Correct. Nades over the top again, ceremoniously so. Neptune stays avoid of any damage, but Boston will get Snoopy forward. And you've called this. What does Purge do on the defensive setup? That's going to give you the intention of what Boston is trying to do tempo-wise. And he's already up inside a Burger where Abuza is looking to check the inventory. Purge aware that this could potentially be a play, though.
Curious if you heard the door crack. He's going to go for the slide, and Abuza has him trapped, and that's what I was talking about. The Purge committing on plays like this. First blood goes to Vancouver, but Snoopy instantly makes it a 3v3. Still 50 seconds to go.
Yeah, big follow-up there, especially considering that you have just now owned the A site for Boston after losing the drive-through. Vancouver going to use the aforementioned location as a setup point. 0-4 peeks in towards the top side A, doesn't see anything, and here comes the re-rep now for Boston.
Oh, Cammy is going to get spotted. Great angle there from 0-4. Almost finds that kill, but with only 28 seconds left to go, we know we have to work an objective. It's going to be on Cammy to simply try to keep them away from B site.
Cammy's seen one. Oh, nice shot onto Abuza right over the top of the truck, and now I believe he did also see 0-4 slide across. So coming to help is Nasty, and no one's watched the outside of track, but it's a little windy back there. Oh! Good response from Boston after it looked like Nasty was about to take the round into his own hands.
Yeah, and even with Purge getting dropped early, Snoopy instantly responds, and then Cammy loves to play over towards his B Street side. Repositions himself towards the white dumpster, rips him on the back truck. That if you're Nasty, yeah, we would have liked to guarantee at least one to give my teammate a chance.
Without question. I mean, he's good for 2 there more often than not. Things happen. Boston now up back 2. On the attack once again they go. Similar setup for Vancouver's defense here as they had done previously. Boston not going to just barge through glass. Instead, they're going to stack up at gens.
Going to use their attacks to potentially find an opening there. Seeing the shadow of Neptune on top of the 18.
Wow,
and
great
Awakening's
nade.
going to commit on the fight. The nade has him weak, so all you need is 1 to 2 shots to get that first blood. Now in a man advantage if you are Surge. Someone has to try to make up for this, or at least stop this bomb plant.
Are they going to try to contest it? There's the breaking of the glass. Nasty will fall. Purge able to keep Snoopy safe. 0-4 dancing, and Purge still finds that one as well. Just down to 1. It's Abuza. This would have to be a 1v4. He does well to catch the first 2. Hold on a second. He's got time and tacticals to play with. Just comes down to can you get information on the last 2. Sees Cammy. forcing the issue. Also, I think gets the read onto Awakening, but no, Demon Joe has arrived in map number 2, and he's now 6-1 with Boston up 4-1 in the tally.
He said, my bad, guys, about that map number 1, but don't worry, I got you here in S&D. Finds the first blood, finds the final kill with the movement. Great plays out of Big Wake. As we take a look at the replay again, Young Purge has been making plays all weekend long in search to destroy 54 HP in the Dream, make it 5. The team shot's good enough for the double, and Boston now have a 3-round lead.
I think Joe's probably sitting here like, thank God this is a Treyarch title, because he's not seeing KDs, he's seeing eliminations, and he had 22 assists, so he's thinking like, I had top damage, I was frying. So that confidence could possibly go a long way, as now we've got a man dash in towards A. This is the staple Boston play that we often have seen, and you blink, you miss it. It's 4-2 immediately. Let's swap the sides and go again.
Yeah, that was a perfect response there from Surge. Obviously, you don't want to allow this S&D to start to get away from you, but you're sick and tired of checking all your corners on your offensive approaches. So you send everybody through Elephant, and they all chow and walk away with the majority of the fights. Vancouver secure their second round. But this is where they have to make something work.
Yeah, absolutely. And this play for 0-4 going into Burger has not provided anything yet, and they're not going to go back to that. Similar stack up for Boston, playing in towards Gens. This time, Vancouver going to try to play aggressive as well. Deep shoulder from 0-4. Stun will move out, and that's going to be a play over the back, but Awakening shuts it down. Gets his one. Purge, Snoopy looking for the trades, and they find the first and the second. Clean shots from Snoopy. Now to Nasty for the 1v3.
And you already know there was an RC car on the board, so most likely he's just getting out of that. Even in the 1v3, we're not taking any chances. We're going to wrap it back over towards B. They're going to be right behind you, Nasty, but Bomb's going to get down.
He's going to miss his window to try to back up and find the exit here. Does have both weapons. Stun will give him the intention that someone is watching this direction. Nade cooked. Go B. Tags. He's got damage onto the other over towards Dumpster, but cannot track it down. Boston quickly to map point.
That's one of those play calls right there if you are Surge. You had Nasty back up, use the RC car. You don't want anyone to fall in that scenario.
Absolutely.
They decided to get aggressive over towards 18. I love the stun play to potentially try to isolate onto Awakening. But when you lose that initial gunfight, you make it a 3v3, and then there's a lot of Boston players in the vicinity to play those trades. Nasty comes out of that RC car like, I don't know what the hell happened. It's 1v3 now. Game point Boston.
Where my boys go? Snoopy on 3 in a row on top of that. First Bloods have gotten back to about level after the opening. Nades over the top. Vancouver right back into that rolling of the dice at A. Boston playing through Gens, trying to recover over towards Glass. Stun check for 0-4, should land it, it does. He was looking for the plant, but instead decides to now play the TDM right inside of the A. Sight turned around, but Purge gets traded. Neptune and Nasty for the opening double, but it's a pinstripe kill feed. Neptune in some trouble here. Oh, able to track down Cammy, but not able to lock the shots in, so it's up to Abuza to try to extend the map.
Abuza 1v2. Cammy and Awakening running around as an army of 2 in the DVD store. Just trying to play for some information. Sorta has a read on potentially where they are going, but 45 seconds to go.
Wolfpack mentality here for Boston. Abuza has plenty of time to make this play happen. How does he set up himself for the post plant? Gonna rewrap. Cammy and Awakening still working together. There's the play. Abuza. How does he go for the check? There's the first, finds it cleanly, has to check the bomb diffuser, it does not do so. Cammy sticks it, and that'll be enough to give Boston map number 2.
Impressive bounce back right there out of Boston. On a map that they usually do not find a lot of success on. The decision making, the play calling was on point. They did not waste any time on setting the tone early on in the game, forcing Vancouver to always think about what their defensive setup was going to look like. But when you got players like Snoopy, who took over in map number 1, who made up for every first blood that went Surge's way to instantly make it a 3v3, he made tremendous plays from round to round. But big shout out to Giga. He needed a bounce back after a slow map number 1, found multiple first bloods in that map 2. He was the difference maker early on into those rounds.
Dude, Joe's gonna like not know what his stat line was in map 1 until after this weekend is over, probably. Like, there's just no way. Because if you're Shawnee, you're back there, like, dude, like you fried, dude. You fried. Like, you found 4,300 damage. Your eliminations were great. And that's massive, just to be able to bounce back mentally from obviously what had happened, which was nearly double negative. But still, the bounce back effort in the comeback on the hard point, a little bit short, but huge through the search and destroy. That's been the staple for Boston all weekend long. Now, the big question is, are they gonna have to 2-3-5? You got to control that they have not really done well in the head-to-head versus Vancouver. Coming up next, what's your thoughts for the desk?
I think you definitely got a 2-3-5 because the Skyline's sitting in map number 4. You try to add it to your map pool from stage 3 and stage 4, and it's never worked. So again, it has to be another Neslo, in my opinion, for Boston.
All right, that's how Jay thinks. Let's see what the desk has to say as we head back for a halftime break.
Thank you, gentlemen. We have Maven joining Nameless and Rosalie once again. I want to start with you, Nameless. You're all smiles right now. Is it because Gigawake just went Giga mode?
I think it's just good Call of Duty, finally, right? Like, we watched that search and destroy, and, you know, Boston decided to wake up. Awakening having some huge plays, especially on their offensive side. And then on the flip side, you think about Vancouver, their rewind has just never looked good.
Ever.
Deciding to get rid of Hasi, you got to play that, and yeah, I mean, rewind's just not the map.
The triple Hacienda ban from Vancouver in this series is making it difficult for Boston. Let's take a look here at some of the highlights from Search and Destroy. Maven, who is impressing you?
I mean, Awakening early, I think just getting him going was huge. Like we were talking about the map 1. But it was really a good team effort. I mean, Cammy had some insane gunfight wins, but like as much as I want to give this to Breach, like I'm kind of with Ant, like it's almost more Surge are just not good at this map and mode combination.
Yeah, I think it's you're choosing to give up gens in a lot of these rounds, especially like when Boston's on offense. When Wake goes right side, either he kills Neptune or he's applying a little bit of pressure. You look at Vancouver, they're committing a guy to street the entire time on both sides, by the way, right? So even when you get a blood, like the round where they went DVD and they find first blood, you're still man down when all of Boston decides to come in and chow.
I mean, I said as soon as you guys came back to the desk, like we saw the one round that handedly went Vancouver Surge's ways when they stacked into that A site and just played the trades. This is a team, these are SMGs. Neptune and 04 thrive in chaos. Abuza is a shooter. So
what do you call
me,
this?
When you put a player on the island, it's kind of like you're hindering yourselves in a lot of these trade battles.
I think like you go back to their losses against like Rocker or like Thieves when we first casted them, and it felt like there was always a gap in their setup, like a hole that they were trying so hard to not leave that hole that they weren't grouping up when they needed to. Like you were saying,
100%,
like, they're just too hard focused on lanes or openings, we were gonna say, like, which they needed to because there were a lot of holes when they previously played it, but sometimes you just gotta like group up and trade.
Yeah, at some point on Rewind, it's like, all right, guys, they're gonna be taking space. We need to get involved here, or Snoopy's gonna be behind us. Like,
They don't seem comfortable there. They don't.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
feel like I just watched this series about an hour and a half ago against Miami. It's playing again against Boston. Let's see what's happening at the end of game 1, though. It's your scuff play of the game, a Vancouver finish. Walk me through this one, Alley Cat.
Listen, I'm going to be so real. Boston was in the driver's seat. That once again, they could have closed out this hard point, but the fact that Vancouver Surge is able to break in this situation is actually unbelievable. I believe it starts off, 04 gets in close quarters and finds a couple of kills. Somebody spawns
Awakening
out.
here has to get something.
He has to get one. Like, it's just an unfortunate situation. The guy turns around, checks it. It's Neptune, ends up winning that gunfight. And then right here, you're thinking, okay, it's 3 dead. All right, Vancouver just going to close this out. Snoopy with a miracle 3-piece Clint to give them an opportunity.
Yeah, I thought that was the bailout, the ultimate bailout to set them up, but they can't win many fights after that. You effectively traded from the high ground, the
Nasty
staircase for Surge.
here.
And
Huge.
they clutch up, but that triple from Snoopy was, it was disgusting. Unfortunately, it didn't amount to a win, but it was nasty.
You just go down way too much. I mean, they woke up, you know, late into this game where they're able to stall onto that P5 and then get ticket for the next hill. But if you're Boston, you have to get going earlier in these hard points. You can see it in the latter half.
We've been saying that all year, bro.
We have been. We have been. Early in the year, though, they were solid at HP. It's in there, and you could see it even in that map number 1.
There's moments. I mean,
One number answers.
Moments.
How many games is this series? 4 or 5?
I think we might go 5. I think we might go 5.
5?
5.
Let's go game 5. Casters?
All right, we're here for that.
I'm down.
Down. It's been a good one so far. And again, I think that the desk hits it very appropriately. Even though Boston has had moments of inconsistency, moments of trial and error when it comes to trying to add maps to the pool for Hardpoint, their ability to bounce back right there, find a way to make a comeback effort happen, then take it into the search and destroy, I feel like changes the dynamic of this entire series.
Oh yeah, especially with the way that they were able to do it in that search and destroy. A 6-2 victory, multiple times where you were in a man disadvantage, you're able to clutch up on rounds. And the players who struggled in map number 1 gave you something in that map
Bingo.
number 2. So if you're Boston, you're feeling so damn good to at least have this series tied up at 1. But the most important map is right in front of us. This
Yes.
Vault Control, we've seen both teams throughout this weekend take down the likes of LA Thieves, so they have the utmost confidence to potentially add another W to their tally.
Give me the word. Is this a must-win for Boston?
Yes.
Done. All right, here we go. Ball control. We've seen it a handful of times. Really, both these two squads, Boston in particular, showing us effort across the weekend against a variety of very good control teams and giving them a workout. Even some of the losses, getting all the way to things like round 5. This comes down to can they close it out and keep that 2-3-5 energy up? Because otherwise, that Skyline Hardpoint is really going to throw a lot of demand onto the 4 members of Boston. Here we go, jumping right on into the action. It's Breach on the opening attack. Vancouver already holding off the initial play at A as the first 2 kills come through.
Yeah, neither squad wanted to go for that early mid-map fight. You take your sweet time on your approach, and both now end with 1v1s and towards the middle of the map. Awakening unfortunately gets a bag timing there. Vancouver now have the numbers to reinforce their way back to slide, but it still does not matter. The bait and switch is good enough for Boston to guarantee some segments now.
That's a big play right there from Cammy. Gets the damage into a couple, switches over to the SMG for 1, and then lets Purge finish up from there. 2 ticks going to be locked in at A. Vancouver working on the surround to see if they can either stop this 3rd tick or at least capitalize on some exits. 3rd tick nearly completed, but there's eliminations that you need. Awakening last one left, clean shots, but doesn't really want to take any further action and will back off as the 3rd tick gets depleted.
And Awakening needs to trust his teammates more right there because everything was cut off. His cut was top cat, and as soon as he turns around, 0-4 jumps to top mid and finds a double. Take care of the rest of his squad. So you only get 2 segments done at A. You're already lighting up the kill feed. You have the numbers to bombard your way back through the middle of the map. That's 3 dead. A, it should be done.
Should be, but there's a 1v1. Purge, nice snap onto 0-4. That should complete the 60 seconds, and keep your eye on B. Cammy already over towards Art. Half that first tick has been locked, but Cammy overwhelmed as Vancouver just completely flood back through Art, get onto B, and deplete the first tick.
And now on board here with Purge, one of the best control players we've had throughout this entire weekend so far. Just looking for his moment to strike. You got your AR setting up pitches that's already 2 dead. Purge gonna try to put himself in a position on bottom Art. Just wants to value his life now.
He sees one of the cross, and Booza not prepared for that gunfight. But 0-4 does clear out Awakening over towards street side, so it's just down to 1v1. Decent snap coming through. Cammy by himself. Once again, both weapons, but Nasty gets the pistol out faster, and that first tick so close to being completed. And Snoopy wants to try to get this one more effort. Kind of a solo mission here. He's got help on the way, and he wins his first 1v1. Cammy gets a second. That's the first tick done.
Now there's pressure from every angle. First segment already locked in, but the ARs on the side of Surge. Abuza and Neptune, who whips out an extra one, already find 3, make it all 4 dead. So you were just up by 4 lives. Now you're only up by 2. A minute left to go.
Yeah, good stuff. 60 seconds on the clock. 11 plays 10. Boston reforming on this setup through mid. Nasty unexpectedly playing top P4 finds Purge. That shuts down the overextension and allows Vancouver to keep their eyes largely on B Street and middle, where Awakening really can't peek.
Yeah, we need some mid-match control if you are Boston. Cannot afford to just work your way through the front door, especially with Neptune cutting you off. He does fall on 5 in a row. You almost line up a double there if you're Candy, but now you're surrounded by Surge.
You got to get here into the play if you're Nasty. Second ticket progress is nearly locked in. Neptune provides one for the front.
Big win.
What a huge win from Wade. Keep Snoopy on the point. Can they get the second ticket progress? Cammy helping on the cross, but only finds 1. 5v5. Snoopy gets a trade, and Boston can still approach this through vault stairs.
30 seconds left to go. You have 1 player on the point in 0-4 who's going to try to contest it, but now no more respawns. 4v4.
Purge still playing forward. Cammy trying to get involved to watch his cross over towards Lion, but Vancouver stopped the pressure from the front. 28 seconds, 2v2, and Cammy's gonna back away. It's him and Awakening versus Abuza and Neptune. Wake in some trouble. Stun gives him some space. Nades on the way back in. Awakening's in trouble. Cammy has to step forward. 1v1 with Neptune. Clock at a pause. Neptune forced to move and wins it, taking the defense.
How many times today have we seen Neptune have play after play on a map like Vault? Usually does it with the SMG, but the guy has so much talent. Let me just whip out the Amos and shut it down as well. This was the initial 3 in the best play. That forces the 4 dead. Then in a 1v1, Neptune Said, all right, who is it? It's Cammy. He's most likely gonna throw some shoulders, but I got some better movement, a little bit more talent, prepared for the gunfight after Abuza secures the nade kill. And Surge secure the defense.
I think Cammy's thinking after he sees that slide, I can get that little close corner and take away both sides of the van. But mutual information, Neptune gets the iron up faster. Saves the round for Vancouver, but still 5 ticks of progress earned. That's key for Boston as we start to look deeper into this vault control. Opening hit here for Vancouver, hard focused over towards B Street. That's also ultimately shut down, and it leaves Neptune by himself. He pops the door and just will try to get a little bit of a pause on the clock, but does hear the contest noise and says, I'm in a little trouble here. Trying to get out,
no way.
Doesn't need to, still wins the gunfight, and look at the kill feed. Vancouver find the other 2 through mid, and Neptune's on a solo mission on B.
Yeah, he's just drawing the attention of Awakening. Hey, look at me, I'm over on this side of the map. My teammates are gonna be uncontested at the A point. Already 0-4 finding a double. Abuza, almost your turn to do the same exact thing. But backing up to the point, the 3 stack is gonna be good enough to extend time early on, and Surge also have a 3 life advantage.
That is a lot of time to play with. Snoopy putting some pressure on the pinch. Cammy up top, finds an exit kill. That will slow down Vancouver just a touch. Nasty not able to finish off Purge initially, but gets the red dot chase in for the kill. And also now he knows that there's someone on the front side of B. Right onto the point he goes, 3 in a row. Both weapons in hand, looking to try to get into Art. Stopped at the moment, still alive, still dancing, but can't get away for too long.
At least for now, Boston are able to shut down that push, but already in great positionings is going to be Neptune towards bottom. Ball tries to go for the Ego Chow onto Awakening, but the headshot is good enough to take care of him. Time keeps on ticking. Boston are only down by 2 lives, but the thing that's very difficult about this setup that they're currently in is that 1 wave of kills is all Surge need.
Yep, and they're playing heavy on the left side of the map. Snap not good enough for 0-4. Abuza, aggressive game of tag with Awakening. Eventually taken care of, but Nasty gets traded out, leaving Abuza by himself. Purge considering if he wants to chase this one down or stay in the back line. It looks like he's going to commit to just playing in the back line.
Right now, 0-4, you see him weaseling his way up through palm side. He's waiting for his teammates to give him a combo or let him find the first kill. Now we're going to put ourselves in a very good position towards the bottom side of R. If he wins this one-on-one, Boston are panicking, but he gets caught.
Yeah, it's kind of 6 of one, half a dozen of another right now. Vancouver clear the middle of the map, but Boston keep their backline safe. But now the play up towards B, looking good. Those last couple of spawns for Boston are deep towards the bottom side of the map. First take done. Stack is in with 2 trophy systems for the second. 13 plays 8. Boston, you gotta go. You gotta get in there. This is taking a little bit too long. Can they even get the touch in time? Merch for the opener. Cammy trying to contest, but he steps off the zone, and Vancouver will confirm the final tick to catch the round.
Yeah, if you're Snoopy there, we just gotta go, man. You put yourself in a position through the middle of the map to potentially set up on a pinch, and you're just watching those segments completely go away from you. Second one gets secured, then he decides to make the move, but at that point, the read is already in from 0-4. Good round right there from Surge to secure every single segment. And now Boston, backs against the wall, need to start to show some life.
Yep. You can ride off the fact that you were 1 kill away from winning your opening offense, though. You're not losing too much confidence in your ability to come back and find a successful attack here.
1 segment is all they're down as well, so if you're Boston, we just got to get through this offense. Early aggression this time around through the middle of the map, but the first kill instantly goes to Abuza.
Yeah, that's not what you want. Purge stepping up with him, though. Does find 1 trade. Got to win the gunfights around the backside of the pinch, though. Cammy gets you 1. Purge, good discipline to keep the front door safe, trusting his teammates off spawn to take care of Neptune. And the clock will stay paused at 1:10 with pressure on A.
Boston should get a little bit of a stack going, trying to extend time early on. The Surge are rallying for their break on in. They go for the trades towards Top Cat, but now they're taking their sweet time working around this pinch. Is someone in a position to watch it? It was Awakening. He has both of those players weak. Should be able to set up his teammates for the kill and this second segment.
Looking good for it. Purge also kind of playing around the outside of the zone as the second tick of progress is about to be locked on in. 0-4 waiting for his time to approach, but he doesn't have any teammates here. So they may have to forfeit this zone. It looks like they're going to. Big win there for Abuza to keep Vancouver's defense stable on the outside of B. And 0-4 actually gets a Semtex kill. So life advantage to Vancouver, but the extra 60 seconds is in play for Breach.
And already Neptune sitting over towards ammo side, going to influence the spawns to be over towards water. The kill feed is currently lining up blue as well, but 2 players actually spawned very close to Neptune. He's still going to make something out of nothing. He's only able to take down 1. Still in a crucial position, but Awakening lines up a double. Now you have an angle out.
And Vancouver will be spawning bottom P4, digs to Cammy's position, topside Art. Good win there for Snoopy. Numbers are going to start to amass here for Boston. A lot of individual discipline going to be called upon here for Vancouver as they try to just keep their eyes on this B zone. Cammy up top. How much can he find? Huge off the Semtex to take down Neptune. Clock is paused for a moment as Purge is on the zone, but can only stay there for so long. Nasty is watching the backside of this from top ammo.
And Snoopy gains that info, so a good shoulder to potentially set up your teammate for the trade, but the stun is good enough to get Cammy out of the power spot. Nasty also wins the opposite one-on-one on the opposing end. Now you're forcing Boston to back on up, and they all fall.
Neptune by himself through vault stairs. Nasty pushed off his angle, but again, just can be a nuisance. 15 playing 9. Massive advantage here for Vancouver to get map 3 underneath their control. And it's just Nasty's just been out here forever. He's just making this his home, rent-free. No real estate sale. How about another? How about a second? Almost, but Awakening gets the trade. Now you've got Cammy on a route.
Cammy's got to make this play happen. Don't really have a lot of lives to play with. You can get some early arc control while your teammates are finding kills around the map. That's the perfection push. But 0-4 wins the one-on-one.
No!
The team nade is going to take down the rest of Boston. Now you only have 5 lives.
Just the worst case scenario. Cammy had pulled so much attention, but a team nade pulls Boston away from the zone. Last chance, no more respawns remaining. 40 seconds on the clock is plenty of time, but keep your eye on the minimap. Here comes Nasty again. He says, I'm renting out this home to Airbnb, but this is my playground. Let me get that. Looking for another, might not even be needed. 9v2, last chance for Boston.
Can Snoopy have another heroic moment? Maybe not. Purge left in a 1v9, and that is quickly going to be the ball control. 3 straight rounds there for the Surge. A 1-kill difference in the opening. But they make their adjustments this time around on the defensive side. Do not allow players to be nuisances behind enemy lines. That was a clean control there from Surge to go up 2-1 in the series.
How much difference a kill makes. How different that could have looked. But Vancouver, they have owned this head-to-head control matchup. Even though the mode hasn't necessarily been really great for either of these two teams as of lately, in this head-to-head matchup, it was a very heavy favor towards Vancouver, and that comes through once again. Looking at the stats, how about Nasty? 20 and 15. Not to be outdone, Neptune, who is, I think, in the MVP consideration race for Surge, 23 and 17, nearly 3K damage. I mean, really, you could pick a stat line for all 4 members, and that's what we keep saying about this Vancouver team. Yes, there may be someone who's got the highest kill-death ratio, but someone else is doing the objective work. It's a perfect piece.
Everyone's helping each other. Yeah. Simple as that. When Neptune needed to have a pop-off moment at the beat point, don't worry, I'll get 3 for you. All right, now all of my teammates are falling. Nasty camping over towards ammo. I get 1 or 2 kills to stay alive for an extra minute to allow you guys another opportunity. It's just that's the way that Surge love to play. Always for the W. No one trying to be that outstanding guy every single time to just win a map. The teamwork is always making the dream work. And now Boston have to rely on a mode that they have yet to win this weekend. 7 losses in a row, with a couple of them being close, but the rest of them being blowouts. You got to put it together right here on a map like Skyline, where you struggle off the rotation, where you struggle in your setup, so you also struggle with your braking. Oh man, if you're Boston, man, you can't run out of gas right now.
No, you can't. And just to reflect, again, when we talked about this Boston team and their journey to be more of a force outside of just like, are they top 8, are they not? You go back, I think, to Major 3 quals. And this is when we were sitting here making map pool changes across the board. And Boston's sitting saying, we're going to add Skyline. No matter what it takes. They played it in almost every single one of their series at Major 3. Problem is, they were still getting blown out by some of the best teams in the game. A couple of the wins here and there, sure, but it just didn't really feel like this map was connecting with them. And when it did, it wasn't just Snoopy that played well. I'm actually looking at Purge. He was like a walking kill streak a couple of different times, thinking back to those Major 3 quals.
Yeah, so far in these respawns in this series, Purge has not had the best performance that he is looking forward to. He's been one of the best control players that we had throughout this entire weekend. Almost goes double negative on a map like Vol. You're definitely looking at that young man to be the difference maker on a map like Skyline, because even though it's not comfortable for Boston, it's also not comfortable for Vancouver.
It's true. They have played this map before against each other, I think just one time, and that did go the way of Vancouver, but this is the issue. It's not just that you're 0-6. Look at the average margin of loss. almost 2 full hard points worth of average loss. Not good news whatsoever. And I think the other issue here is the hold percentage is not just low, but the rotation win percentage is low. So not even getting many hold opportunities, let alone are they actually converting on those opportunities.
Yeah, no stats are going to look right when you're 0-6 so far here at Champs. Dead last, you're getting blown out of the majority of your games. You can't set up properly because you're simply outnumbered off the rotation. But if anything is going to tell us anything about how this weekend has gone, you always got to be prepared to expect the unexpected. You got the parents in the crowd of young Snoop here to support their son. But Nasty on the opposing end is just thinking about that grand final.
Oh, yeah. See what we get. See what we get. I think the other side of this, kind of talking about what this Vancouver team does well, is they don't allow you to feel comfortable. They're always running at you, always moving the map around and manipulating it to their name. So it's not even just looking at can the SMGs keep up in the tempo. I'm actually looking to see if Awakening and Cammy can just keep up and just, move in place. Just the entire time through. You can't just hold one angle. You cannot play slow here. You have to commit to a tempo that Vancouver's going to throw at you.
Yeah, I'm expecting Cammy to sometimes whip out that third SMG to match their pacing, and Awakening to try to just be that solo AR dominating the top map presence. But down 2-1 in the series, potentially the last map here on Saturday. Boston needs to put it together right here, right now.
And the miracle run extend to a map 5 for Boston. Opening first blood goes their way. And actually on top of that, Purge and Awakening going to work together to see if they can maybe actually move some spawns over early. Time going to go to Boston right off the get-go. Purge following up, and yeah, there's some good duality between the AR and SMGs as Purge finds the opening 3-piece.
They lit up the kill feed, but they haven't secured one side of the map yet, so still, Vancouver have pressure on both angles. 04 already finds a kill from top lab. Now he's just going to send it onto the player in the hard point, and just like that, Vancouver have an instant response for a break.
That's just one of the things that Vancouver has really impressed us with since the addition of Neptune. Their ability to recover when really nothing's going their way in a particular individual moment of these hard points. And it turns into a second wave that has been all Vancouver. Time has been tied up. P2 side of the map also locked down with exit kills to go with it.
Now you got to break into the P2, which is very, very difficult to do. Only player who potentially contest for these spawns is going to be Cammy. Wins a big one-on-one versus 04. Awakening also finds one at top T. So if you can be the aggressors to his white steps, you could potentially at least spawn one player out. Purge is starting to get activated. Last guy towards the back.
Purge, okay, another triple for Purge. Awakening in the hard point gets a lot of space, a lot of breathing room, as Boston will flip the spawns and retake the lead. Snoopy, AR out. Good win initially onto Nasty. No further Surge members playing it through kitchen side as Cammy's got piano locked down, and this has been a really solid break and follow-up hold as Purge gets to a killing spree.
Oh, he is on fire right now. You can just tell the way that he is playing. He is filling himself on Skyline. Trying to make it 6 in a row. Could potentially earn himself an early cruise missile going forward. Locates Neptune, trying to still assist his teammates at the old time. A perfect read onto Nasty. Not enough ammo to take down Abuza, but Purge just gave his team a smart.
I'll say 52-32. Follow up though again. When Vancouver starts to deal with resiliency, they make the right read, they make the right call, they set themselves up for a full wipe, and now the opening time at P3. 12-point game. Nice shots from Abuza. Peels Cammy off the stairs heady. But Snoopy, Purge, couple eliminations. Has Boston looking to break through the middle of the map. Just comes down to can Purge open the door. He finds the first. Snoopy follows up, trades back and forth, but it is Boston with the numbers.
Yeah, that's a beautiful route right there out of Purge to work his way through underground, allow his teammates to spawn over towards Cobble side, and Cammy now lines up 3. Spawn's already flipped. There's 30 seconds remaining still here at the P3. You can already see 04 trying to think about the next one. Wins a big one-on-one. Trying to set up this pinch for his teammates to apply pressure from the backside. Already lines up a double, making a triple on the break, and the spawns are good for Surge.
That's big though from Awakening. He takes down 2. Opens up an opportunity for Boston to try to hit this with numbers, but instead they're going to play for the rotation. Nasty playing deep towards patio. 04 up top, responsible for the high ground.
Big
Shut down immediately. Now it's just down to what Nasty can find. Tough opening shots. Just down to Nasty in the back. Clean for 2. Does he see the one over to his right? Spawns will be in for Boston, and they'll push him out. But now you've got the follow-up hit from the front. Vancouver already in, but Snoopy's double leaves it just to 04. Tough battle around the back, but he gets overwhelmed, and Boston will stabilize.
And it's perfect timing to take down 04 because your teammate spawns right next to you, so you're still going to be ready for this next wave. And Giga Wake is starting to come alive. Lines up 3 on the bottom side of Closet. All of Vancouver spawning all the way across the map. The only one that is waiting now for his teammates to get back into the play is going to be 0-4, but they have it all cut off.
It'll be a little bit of damage, backs off, respects the play.
Win.
Back and forth we go, 2v2 over the old time. Make it now just down to 1, it's Awakening. Good opening shots. Has help from Purge, and that'll be enough to lock down the scrap time. Brilliant here from Boston after the opener, and a chance to get another listen in to see how Breach are coming here in map 4.
Yo, you want to go left, Eric? Yes.
One shot top mid. There's 2 plat maybe. I don't know. One guy's front B2 doors. He's front doors. He's front doors. He's probably watching the cross. He's probably on you watching the cross. I'm trying to where he's got top.
Left one,
One shot top left. Top left.
Okay, I think he's I'm coming with you. Couches are dead. I'm one shot. Could come back to us, Eric. Yo, top last week, guys. He's got left. No, they're wrapping back couches. On time and then 2 wrapping couches.
Alright, take your time. Get it go.
I got left, guys. Yeah, give me piano, man. Piano dead. I'm one shot, guys. Left one time, guys. Left one time, guys.
Actually, no, it's just on.
Left one time still. Left one time still, boys. I'm pushing through, boys. You might start flipping.
Yeah, they did, bro.
Yeah, they did. Okay, I'm getting up top. Yo, bind us piano. Boost a back tree. Boost a back tree.
He's gonna be front doors to you. Front doors to you.
Yeah,
One's
boost a
on
back tree.
One's in you. One's in you. One's in you. Spawn now. Four's in you.
Yeah, there's 2.
Nasty. Nasty on the Booza. Yeah, he went gym. The guy on 4 went gym.
He's gonna be left, boys. I stand on the left. I don't see him on the left, guys. I'm stunned.
Your left. They could be on the one shot nasty. Out to piano. He's on the corner.
One more piano. Boost a piano, guys. Okay. Still, boys. Nice. Good spawn back tree.
This one now, I think.
Yeah, okay. Kitchen.
This one now.
I got my front doors, guys. I got my front doors. Yeah, I got my. Okay. Yeah, I got my front doors, boys. He's not pushed in.
I'm trying to keep you on the right. Keep you left.
Last guy.
I'm in, not weak, bro. He's on the front doors. Front doors. He's watch out.
I need to push. Good low left, guys. Yeah, low left, boys. I'm weak.
I hear you. Help us.
Yeah, Boots done.
Last guy, P1, go to you.
Yeah, need that.
Nice. They must one hold. Actually, they're gonna get splits. Can't look your back door and hold. Can't look your back door.
Back door. 2-0, guys. At least 2-0.
I'm push up there. Our side. At least 2-0, bro. Our side not weak. He's 2. Okay, listen.
Boots top piano now. Yeah, nice. You wood wall, boys. Wood wall. He's not weak. Stay behind the bar. Yeah, behind the bar. He's weak behind the bar now. Okay. Okay, nice. I'm nasty. Good job.
He's out of top. Can't see the
yeah, and net behind the bar, guys. I'm weak. Yo, I'm one shot. My shallow. Net close. Weak as fuck. Nice.
Stay down. Here you go.
Nice. Good shit.
Yo, they're starting me over. I'm stunned, bro. Goes on me. One shot. Okay, on my left. He's really weak, bro.
Lock in, Ontario. We've got ourselves a battle here. Back and forth tug of war, 161-150, and we're gonna rage on over towards P4 again with Cammy trying to lock things down, but Vancouver with the numbers.
Yeah, he's already gonna lose that initial gunfight. The close spawn's already coming as well. But it's Purge. Nobody else in that position. Lines up a double, but it still does not matter. The close spawns are in for Vancouver. You just gotta hop yourself in towards the HP. 0-4 wants to make sure everything is played out towards bottom bed, and a lead change is on the cards.
Looking good for it, but Boston are set up over towards bottom bedroom to try to work their way back in. Nasty has to back up, try to lock down the spawns. Big win versus Purge. Will anyone spawn in with him, though? He's doing all the dirty work. Pistol out almost finds 3, but Boston flipped the spawns, and with that, also the hill.
That's a beautiful break right there from Boston. Everyone rallying through the bottom side of bed. And now you see Neptune taking a slow and steady approach. This is a big one-on-one gunfight. You're potentially going to set up your teammate for it, but Snoopy just takes the fight to himself. Lines up a double. Back secured for Boston. Final 15 seconds also could potentially go their way. Vancouver are going to forfeit it and play for that P1 control again.
Here we go. Look an eye on Snoopy, though. He's lost on the map. Trying to play behind Vancouver as they're trying to hit through the scrap track. They think they have P2 side locked. Snoopy's going to set up, get over the top. Oh, misses the opportunity though on the 0-4. and now he's a little bit trapped. Has to just value his life while his teammates come off spawn. Able to get the one out of the hard point. Does he get a second? Oh my goodness, Snoopy. Huge win. That'll move the spawns in Vancouver are in tatters.
That's 4 dead, and you can already see Snoopy. I'm going to hard block. You guys can be as aggressive as you want. Over towards bedroom side. Neptune is now forced to use the Hellstorm just to allow his teammates to get somewhat map control back. But no one is going to fall to the streak. Boston know exactly where they're coming from. You're still finding trades around mid-map.
04 finds the opening. 2v2 over the top of the hard point. Nasty cleans out Snoopy. Looking for more towards bottom side. Jin, yes, good for another. Team kill, though, does come through. Boston still spawning up towards new. 172 to 203. Things starting to stabilize over the hot tub as 04 will just try to lock down Billiards best he can.
And if you are Boston, P2 has treated you so well all of this map number 4. Can you lock it down? You're already breached that 190-point mark, so you can close the game here. The first wave is the most important. All the pressure through Kitchen.
Trophy system down, keeps Awakening safe. Neptune forcing the issue. Nasty finds the first. Abuza follows up. Now the play for spawn starts to ensue. One player spawns out for Boston, but look where Vancouver spawned. They spawned pretty much off the map. Abuza only gets one. Boston are going to stabilize and reset up.
And that's due to the fact that Cammy lines up with double at that time. Majority of Boston players on the right side of the map, they continuously are holding it down, shutting down the first wave, potentially going to shut down the second as well, and you can still win it here.
Absolutely can. Neptune seen by Cammy, shut down immediately. Here comes the flood up top. Cammy gets eliminated. Now it's just down to can you get into the hard point. Here comes the full flood. Nasty trying to work with the Abuza, but Snoopy off 3 in a row. Wins the final one, maybe needed. Neptune, can he provide the double? No, only gets one. Still enough time to win here. You gotta jump, you gotta go, you gotta contest. Cammy, he's able to shut down 3. Purge with the final. Is the last hit gonna come through? Yes, it will. How about a map 5?
This is COD Champs in Ontario, Canada. You can never expect what is going to happen. The unexpected has been all throughout this weekend. And the Boston fans are feeling so damn good for a map that hasn't treated you right. Rambo Ray on the stage looking at Nasty's controller. I don't know what's going on, but we got a game 5.
Wild scenes. What a time to win your first hard point. Are you kidding me? We're in losers finals. That's their first hard point win.
And it's a skyline as well.
It's a skyline. Maybe there is something about losing is learning, because they played this map a million times in Major 3 into Major 4. Couldn't quite find any conviction to add this as a stapled map in the pool, but enough work had been done. And how about finally in a respawn, all 4 members essentially even stat lines. The big one though, Purge, nearly 4K damage. Cammy 32 and 24 with a minute 52 in the hard point. Yeesh.
And this is where that month of practice plays a big part for all of these teams who weren't on the top seeds. Boston put in a lot of work. Obviously, throughout that time, they needed to improve their setups. They needed to improve their break opportunities. And every time they needed to have a break, they got it done.
Yeah.
But it needed to set up properly. It was the P2 money hill, which was the difference maker here for the breach. Everyone was starting to fire. You're clutching up on kills when you need to secure the better spawns. And even though that map was back and forth, Boston Breach, they forced another game 5, man.
This is going to be an epic affair on Red Card.
Yeah.
Absolutely epic affair. For a chance to get to the grand finals, Vancouver, maybe doing what they have not been able to do to this point, is win a map at grand finals, but Boston are looking for revenge. I know it's a late one here, friends. We got to keep locked in. We're going to go to a break. When we come back, you better be ready to go. Map 5, Red Card, losers finals. Backside of the break.
Bro, my knee just gets blown up. We don't win the round. Oh my God.
The Scuffed Call of Duty collection is $30 off this weekend only. Visit scuff.co/CDL to upgrade your game with a Scuff, the official controller of the Call of Duty League.
The Call of Duty League is brought to you by Monster Energy, the official energy drink of the CDL.
The Esports World Cup is an official partner of the Call of Duty League.
On match day, everything matters. What you focused on the night before, how you slept, what you ate. Players gather in the arena, ready to go toe-to-toe, fueled by the dedication, passion, and love of the sport. The mind has to be focused, clear, locked in. Any unknown variable can mean the difference between winning and losing. And when you have your pride on the line, every decision has to be perfect. Every movement calculated, and every shot on target. If you want to be remembered here, you have to make them believe. Scuff has been a proud and passionate supporter of Call of Duty esports for 14 years, and enables you to play like a pro.
A chance for redemption, a chance for revenge, and both of those two teams on the screen doing it in surprise fashion. On one side, you have Boston. No one expected them to get this far. On the other, Vancouver. After being slapped in the mouth in Major 4, they've come out of lower round 1 to potentially make their way all the way back to their 3rd Grand Finals appearance. And the battleground will be a red card, search, and destroy. I'm Shift, this is Study. Give me your thoughts, Pop.
Oh, this is going to be a grueling one, man, because both teams sort of like have the same play style on this map throughout this weekend. It was a slow and steady wins the race for Vancouver, and that last year versus Miami in the game number 5, and then what Boston did versus LA was the same exact thing. But when you take a look at the map 5 metrics, it's basically even. You got 5th and 3rd, 8 and 7, 9 and 7, 1 win streak, 2 win streak, opening dual win percentage is basically the same.
Yep.
This is an absolute square up here in this scenario.
And again, the history between these two teams, they've played this map once before. If you really want to even consider that, it was all the way back at Major 1 qualifiers where they did play it in map 5, I believe, and it went all the way into a round 10 that Boston had won. But the big news here, again, revenge and redemption. The winner moves on to Championship Sunday with a chance to stop Optic from going back-to-back. The other finishes at a respectable 3rd, but wanting more before we eventually consider things like the Esports World Cup. Here's a reflection of how this series has gone. Outside of the blowout map 2, blowout map 3, everything else has been as tightly contested as you could possibly want. So let's get it locked in one more time for Vancouver and Boston. Map 5, let's get it on.
And the matchup that I'm looking at is 04 v Purge. Two tremendous playmakers on both ends, but not afraid to take risk. Already into this round number 1, Vancouver with the aggression, knowing that there's no trophy system is going to allow Boston to take this space away from them. We're just going at A.
Yeah, sure are. All 3 members right up close and personal. Nasty finds the opener. Purge nearly able to play spoiler, but enough damage had been dealt to stop the play in its tracks, leaving now Abuza to a 1v2.
Good thing is he does have the bomb in hand. So he can make whatever decision that he wants at this point. But Snoopy and Cammy have wrapped their way to the opposing side of the map. They put themselves in a position towards top trips to gain the info. Just going to be patient on the shot, and Boston open up with the opening round.
It's huge that they were able to stop that 3-man hit right up and in towards sidewalk, because initially, with Neptune throwing shoulders, a couple of shots coming through arches, Vancouver are saying go, 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 go. But it's Purge and Awakening to lock things down, make sure that they're able to get their ones plus an extra. And Abuza on the island, never really a part of the play. Cam needs to be finding for free.
Yeah, perfect defensive strat right there from Boston. But basically 4-stack over towards that A site. They just watched Vancouver play it in a game number 5. They're most likely going to go to the same things that worked previously. They were able to match them on that side of the map for the first round, but now on the attack. Usually like to gain some info early on before they commit on the play. Cammy's going to have the AR, spots out 04. They're just waiting for potentially someone to scan.
Yeah, it doesn't really tell you too much. 04 has often been the flex player over towards the B site. Abuza top hedges has found Awakening and respectively given on both sides. The big real kind of key here is Nasty's position forward through A, and now the reinforcements towards B, knowing that Nasty's in a spot that essentially locked down A by himself.
Oh yeah, but it's still going to be a man disadvantage. Boston sent every single player on in. Be able to spot the one in the close corner. Purge is going to commit for the first blood.
Big, great decision from Purge. And you also see the exit from Neptune. So you should be able to get the bomb on for a plant. Worried about the pinch though. They have not committed yet, as all the defensive nades are finding success connecting for now. But everyone will shake off the stun effects, and we're going to keep this 4v3.
Nasty's in a very good spot on this pinch angle. But he is going to put down shots. Positioning now known. Bomb potentially going to be planted. Awakening does not care. I'm just going to get the objective down, but it's a 3v3.
Oh, Nasty got the last bullet on Awakening just before, but doesn't make a difference. The damage had been tallied. It's just down to 1. Snoopy trying to back himself up over towards Ticket. And
Dude,
the movement's unreal, but he's not going to get away from Vancouver, who respond.
That's one of those rounds right there where Boston just need to be quicker on their decision making. They have been doing that all throughout this weekend. You gain the info that Nasty's working the pinch, and at that point you got to know it's a 4v2 on their side of the map.
Yeah.
So if we push that out, we can get the trades, but everyone stacked in towards the site, committing for the objective. Nasty's pinch plays a big part to the success there for Vancouver. Tie game.
I think the big thing about that pinch, you're right, the 4v2 could have come through, but Awakening commits to the plant right as Nasty tosses an 8, and there's no one there to really stop Nasty from getting a part of the play. So kind of just caught in some weird timing. 1-1 the count though early. Vancouver on their next offensive attempt. Boston looking like they want to play with some aggression here. Double stack with Snoopy and Cammy over towards front Ticket Glass, and 04 has gotten a decent read. Nades on both sides. We'll have both teams kind of just wanted to make sure they stay in each other's corners.
Snoopy still has not been spotted yet.
Now he has.
Able to back out, but 04 now has that info that there's at least 2 players over towards B. So with Abuza in his positioning, Bomb's going to start to rotate back over towards A.
Yeah. You're keeping Neptune, though, in a position to make sure no one pushes out a Ticket first, making sure the defense stays back, and 04 in that moment does find a first blood onto Cammy, who is the pivot man up top. So now an opportunity for the bomb to really flood in towards A and put a ton of pressure on Boston.
Now Snoopy's going to get active on the pinch. Looking for the time and potentially on the 04 is going to be able to slip right by him. You want to try to shut down this bomb plant before it goes down.
They're here to contest. Snoopy's pinched, able to find one, takes us to a 3v3. Awakening finds another, but Abuza's double backside goal may be the difference maker. Snoopy trying to thread the needle between both Vancouver members. Does he know where Nasty is? You know Abuza's playing somewhere around the bomb site, but he's more interested in trying to hunt out Nasty. And this route may provide it, but no, doesn't check behind the gut guard, and that's enough for Nasty to secure the round for Vancouver.
Yeah, good round right there at 04 to gain info early on that this 2-player spread on the defensive approach. So With one player in Abuza edging his way out towards stage. A call and play call. It's wrapped back over towards A, and you're able to catch Cammy in a very crucial position at top trips for that first blood. You force Boston to try to make up for it, but by the time they get into the play, the objective is already down, and Abuza found 2 around that site. Completely disregard Snoopy on the pinch. And that's 2 in a row now for Surge.
First bloods will reflect the score on the board. 2 for Vancouver, 1 for Boston. Conversion percentage has been strong to this point. Nades aggressively tossed early for Vancouver has Boston a bit weary at hedges, but will live to tell the tale. And more importantly, Purge has gotten through stage and has eyes on A.
And if you're Abuza, your job is to simply just watch the cross. Boston aren't getting any info yet. Bomb is now going to get planted. Abuza spots him, trying to go for the wall bang, but it's going to be a full refill retake.
RC car is available for Abuza if he wants it. Look at the play through mid-map. Watch Nasty. He is about to pop through these doors as soon as his defenders from the front start to make some noise. There's the first blood onto Snoopy. Now it's time for Nasty and 04 to make the play through mid. They clean up the site. Post-plant reflank on the way for Cammy. Can he get here in time, though? That's the big question, because Awakening does not really have eyes on the bottom. He wins it versus Nasty, and now Cammy's a part of the play. Just down to Neptune. 1v1 with Cammy. He's on his high horse. He's bailed. Neptune searching, hunting. Trying to make the call. And Cammy's going to kill off enough time to save the round for Boston.
The vet isn't going to shy away from the moment. No, there's 15 seconds left. Who am I going up against? Oh, it's Neptune. He's most likely going to be looking for the kill. Cammy puts himself back into the play at the right time, but it all starts with Awakening. Winning that one-on-one over towards Globe. I thought you got the jump on them there if you were Boston, but he makes it a 2v2. Cammy keeps him alive. And just not enough time there for Neptune to find the kill and secure the defuse. 2-2 now.
Massive 3v4. Vancouver back on the attack. Nasty this time will just play in through mid while the other 3 members for Surge look to hard commit for some extra pressure at A. Boston doing the same thing on the other side. Maybe early contact here. Nate is tossed 04. Not going to commit to the gunfight initially. Does he know that there's a player on the opposite side of this hedge, though? Shoulders being thrown. He has not seen it, and Snoopy is out of there.
Yeah, there's only been one person with information gained, and that was on the Awakening over towards hedge. Even though Boston going to match that aggression over towards this hedge side. Going to back on up and continue to play safe. 50 seconds remaining on the game clock. Vancouver are now going to cross.
They're going to see a lot of freedom here at P2. Awakening, going to be challenged. What a win from Awakening! Oh! Catches the trade plus. Oh! How good is this guy? Able to take down 3. And Cammy, well, good luck, have fun. Abuza's already playing bottom stairs. Neptune getting it at the ace. No, last bullet comes up empty, but what a play from Nep.
And initially to start that round, that's what Boston were playing for, to not allow Neptune in that head control positioning again. But with all the nades, all the stuns getting invested, you force them to back down, create the opening for Neptune. And even with Awakening finding that first blood, still don't know how he finds it. Neptune is instantly always there to play the trades with 04 and do him one better. Let me just line up 3 and secure the round. Vancouver, 3-2.
Huge. Because you call it, Awakening wins a miracle 1v1, it feels like. Doesn't matter. Neptune too strong. Boston gonna support this look over towards B with a trophy system here. 04 Neptune the ones throwing shoulders. Neptune losing most of his left shoulder there, but backs off and he will be the solo defender for now on B.
Just keeping them at bay. Also trying to read what else they have throwing at them on this defensive approach. 35 seconds already gone. The back eight going to force Snoopy to back on down, but they don't really want to take the risk to go over towards A. We're going to wrap it back towards B.
We've seen this before out of Boston. 04 this time. Going to see something from the lower ground. Abuza going to help out from top third. Doesn't like the look of it. and makes the move over to window and finds Awakening. That stops the play for Boston, trying to rotate over to A with any sort of conviction. So now you're kind of stuck in a rock and a hard place. You don't have anything to work with right now after breach.
And Purge shows that shoulder. I can't find an opening through the middle of the map. Now we fully have to commit over towards B. You do have the man advantage if you hit it quick, but Neptune again lines up 3, almost makes it another 3-piece. But every time you run into Mr. McLeod, he is going to make something out of nothing. Vancouver with 3 rounds in a row now have a comfortable lead, up 2.
Big time. And that's just the byproduct of what Vancouver are finding success at Search. It's an opening first blood for free, and you force your opponent to make the most impossible decision. And Neptune benefits with a bit of a collat lineup, and then the little snapper does a lot of damage to Purge. Different angle for all you cinematic fans and how Neptune deals with this. All the timing of that stun is also unbelievable for what it's worth. So 4-2 the count. Neptune up to 8 total kills, and Vancouver back onto the attack with the trophy, looking over towards A.
If you're Boston, you got to switch something up.
How about that?
Gonna get aggressive through B Street. Nasty, your job to watch the pitch angle.
What a stun check. Doesn't hit though. Sees Purge at mid. That's mutual information. Snoopy not going to commit to anything, not yet at least, as Vancouver are still feeling things out in top of A.
And Awakening and Purge doing the same army of 2 setup around this A site.
Oh, mercy.
Neptune is doing the same exact play, slips behind enemy lines, finds the first blood. You know Awakening has to be somewhat nearby. The movement, slide, slippery slide again. Mr. McLeod gets it done.
And now it just has to be off the flank. Cammy does take care of Nasty in the middle of the map. 0-4 gets a read. Yep, and that's going to be enough to hold Cammy at mid. Nowhere to go. Still wins the second gunfight. Would have to be a 1v3 and an ace. Slips away for now, but under 30 seconds to play with. Has to go quickly. And you don't really know where either member is. He finds Abuza, who's going to toss a couple of the shoulders. Neptune on the cross. Good damage. Cammy almost snaps back, but not going to happen. Vancouver a round away.
They just keep on allowing Neptune to break them down. Even when time is ticking. Even when you know where the play is going to be going towards. He continuously is finding opening after opening. Some bad timing again from Awakening. Leads to the first blood onto his teammate. And then you know Awakening loves to play around this A site. He has to be somewhat nearby. Early shots connect. Omni movement outstanding from Neptune. And he lines up another 3 to put Vancouver at game point.
They say good things come in 3, Jay. Neptune's found a lot of it. Vancouver as an organization looking to get to their 3rd grand final against a 3rd unique opponent. Opening battle, Snoopy able to stop things for now. Opening first blood, now to Boston is free. 4v3 situation. They get a read, there's another player down low at Hedges, but Abuza, he's able to keep Snoopy at arm's rest, and now we've got ourselves a 3v3.
Abuza keeps his teammate alive. And Nasty's able to get out of dodge, but Abuza with the repositioning finds his second on 5 in a row. Young Purge, can you make up for it 2v2?
What do they expect? 0-4 guarding the rotation back. Bomb is not in hand. 0-4 is going to listen to the girl from Ipanema on his way up the elevator. Bomb should be collected here by Awakening, and it is. How do you commit here? 0-4 is in the position he wants to help over the top. Shots are clean, just down to 1 for Purge. 1v2 situation, looking to isolate onto 0-4, who's on his backside. He's going to be right in front of the door. Here's the pop, there's the kill, and it's going to be a 3rd grand finals appearance for Vancouver, this time versus the defending world champs.
We know what Surge is capable of. Ever since the addition of Neptune to this lineup, he has done wonders in not only the respawns, but even in the search and destroy at times. Boston finally win a hard point, but it does not matter. Both teams are very comfortable on a map like Red Card. When you got a guy who is just roaring with confidence, never going to shy away from the moment, without question. I know Neptune previously was in the CDL, and he came back this year, but there's no doubt in my mind he is the comeback player of the year.
Someone get Shawston on the line. That's a documentary series if I've ever seen one, just following the path of Travis. Because even in the challenger space, We saw it a lot, you and I in particular. You see what potential is there. Can you hone in the skills and get it to transfer into the major leagues here? And this year, it's absolutely clicked for him. On the other side, you have to pay respect to the Cinderella story. Are you kidding me? To come out as the 8th seed, fighting just for a spot at champs as recently as the DreamHack Major, to then come out against the #1 seed, make a run all the way to the winners finals, and put up a hell of a fight here in the lower finals. That's a respectable 3rd place for Boston.
0.1 of the world chose these guys to potentially win the championship. You take down the back-to-back champions. You continue to move forward. Take care of Miami. Obviously, you fall short versus Optic. You square up versus Surge and give them a run for their money. But for all those young men who everyone counted out, teamwork always makes the dream work, and I'm happy as hell that they were able to put something together here at Champs, because a top 3 is nothing to shy away from or to be disappointed with. Boston, they played their hearts out. Just Vancouver